Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Blessing again. Have you missed me? Because I've missed you too. Okay, if you haven't missed me, it's because you're not subscribed. So click the subscribe button and join the family. So today I thought we'd try a bit of a different thing on the channel. We'll do a different bit of content. And I thought what I could start on the channel is start talking about the trending topics or trending news in Nigeria. And I know a lot of you that watch me kind of live in the diaspora, or you live in the UK, the US, the Western world basically. And you may not necessarily have direct information on what happens in Nigeria, or you don't really get any kind of news, and you might want to. So not that I am a certified journalist or anything of the sort, but I do follow a lot of Nigerian news outlets and platforms, and so I thought we could kind of make it a topical segment on our channel where we discuss, or where I inform you of the things that are currently going on, and we can discuss in the comment section. I am not saying that I am a voice of authority on any of the topics that I speak on. I am just reporting what is reported. Okay, so do feel free to leave your comments, opinions, thoughts down below, especially if you're in Nigeria and you can shed some light on the topics I mentioned. Please do so, but be respectful, okay? Okay, so the first thing, everyone obviously around the world is dealing with the coronavirus or COVID-19. And so Nigeria is not exempt. In the beginning, it wasn't really affecting Africa as much, and we were all very happy about that. Yes, I say we. I was very happy about that, okay, even if I wasn't there. Recently it started appearing, and bit by bit then Nigeria started also getting the virus. It really started in Lagos, and Lagos still does have the highest number of COVID-19 patients, and then also Abuja also has quite a high amount. So let me just give you a rough estimate from when it was last reported. As at 9:30 p.m. 7th of April, there are 254 confirmed cases in Nigeria, 44 have been discharged, and 6 people have died. So in Lagos, there were 130 patients. FCT, which is Abuja, has 50. Osun State has 20, Oyo State has 11, Edo State has 11, Bauchi State has 6, Akwa Ibom has 5, Kaduna has 5, Ogun State has 4, Enugu has 2, Ekiti State has 2, Rivers has 2, Benue has 1, Ondo State has 1, Kwara State has 2, Delta State has 1, and Katsina State has 1. So that's as of 7th of April. Now, unfortunately, there is not much to be done about it. I believe that Nigeria is handling it as best as they can, and I think they're doing quite a good job at it. I might be wrong, let me know down below, but from what I've seen in the news, that seems to be the case. Unfortunately, some quite well-known people also seem to have gotten COVID-19. Davido's wife or girlfriend or fiance, whatever, Chioma, they all came from the UK, and they were all together, but unfortunately only she was diagnosed with COVID-19, whereas Davido and the rest of the crew that they were together, they all seem to be fine. She recently gave birth, so I'm not sure how she's coping with taking care of her child and being in isolation, but she does have she tested positive for it, whereas Davido took the test twice and he didn't test positive. Atiku's son, he tested positive for it, but only after arriving in Nigeria from the UK, going to a club, going to a mosque, mingling, and then 10 days later he was forced to the hospital to take a test by the police, at which point I'm sure he may have exposed numerous people to it. But I believe there are a number of dignitaries and politicians who met with him during that time and shook his hand, and as a result contracted the ailment. The president of Nigeria did shake his hand and meet with him when he landed, has tested negative, although quite a lot of people on social media had hoped that the reverse would be the case, which is a horrible thing, guys. You should not be wishing death or COVID-19 on anyone. Let's please stop. Nonetheless, Lagos went into lockdown not long ago. I believe it's been about a week or two, but a lot has happened since then. So first of all, I'm going to show you some pictures of people practicing social distancing, and I mean by people coming out in their droves onto the island or onto the bridges, just out in public in huge numbers. Jogging and working out. Guys, when I saw this picture, it was hilarious, but then I woke up today and I saw that there was another picture. They had gathered in a different place to work out, and I just thought, wow. I'll let you see the pictures and see a fine example of social distancing. Anyway, another thing that took the media by storm was the fact that Funke Akindele, who is a prominent actress, she's been acting for quite a while, but she has been in multiple things from the movie, and she's been in lots and lots and lots of Yoruba and English movies. And so it was her husband's birthday recently, and so she threw him a birthday party, and there were Naira Marley was there, I believe what's her name, Eniola Badmus was there. There was quite a few people. I wouldn't say there was lots and lots and lots, but there was more than 20 as far as was reported. And he put it on his live, so he was showing everyone dancing, eating, whatever, and the media went into an uproar. They were upset because I believe, from what was reported, Funke Akindele was the ambassador of Dettol or some sort of cleaning brand, and had recently come out with a campaign telling people to practice social distancing, wash their hands, and obey all the regulations regarding this COVID-19 situation. And obviously the government had announced a lockdown and said everybody should stay at home and social distance. So her throwing a party with numerous amounts of people were upset. They were saying, how can you be an ambassador for, doing the right thing and staying at home and whatever, and you're out here throwing a party. She then issued an apology a day or two later, explaining that the people that were at the party lived in her estate. She has an estate with her husband, Amen Estate, and that they were working on a movie or a project of some sort together, and so was Naira Marley. He was supposed to be in the project, and so that's what they were filming when the lockdown was announced, and he decided to stay back with them. Her husband also issued some sort of apology, but not really an apology. From what I gathered, it rather dismissive. He wasn't really apologetic. Nonetheless, she was later arrested and sentenced to, I believe, 14 days of community service and fined $100,000. And I think her husband was also charged, though he did not appear, which led people to comment on social media that men will disgrace you, because he's the one that had the party. He's the one that, it was his birthday, but she was the only one arrested. People were in two minds. Some people were coming out and saying, are you people happy now? Are you happy now? You've gotten what you wanted. You dragged her down. And I think my opinion doesn't really matter, but what I think is that whether or not they threw the party, it needed not to have been broadcasted, regardless of whether the people already lived in Amen Estate or they were already together as a family or whatever. Regardless of what they had chosen to do in their homes, which, whether it's wise or not, is another issue. Whether or not they threw the party, I think the biggest problem was putting it on social media, because there are a lot of people who don't know that the people were already in their homes and would have thought, I'm looking up to her and she's doing this, so I'm going to do this as well. So I think that the biggest issue was putting it on social media. It needed not to have been done. If it was for his birthday, then it should have just done it and kept it, under wraps. Nonetheless, she's done the crime and she's done the time, or she will do the time. So I think it's best to let the issue lie. People saying that she apologized and it didn't need to have gone to court. I mean, the law doesn't really work on whether you apologize or not. That's why you can plead guilty. But that being said, a lot of people were saying that when she was at the court, there were so many reporters all huddled together. There was a lot of people in the courtroom, and that's not practicing social distancing. So I think, there's a lot of ways to look at it. At the same time, I do think, though, that, people being in a courtroom is not on the same wavelength as people gathering together to have a party. But that's by the side. Let me know down below your thoughts. Do you think she should have been arrested? Do you think she should have been charged? I don't think her punishment was really that severe, just community service, and I think the community service was just to campaign and let people know that they should stay at home. I don't think it was that severe, but let me know down below what you think. Do you think the punishment was apt, was appropriate, or do you think the government went too far? Do you think people went too far? Then celebrities like AY comedian decided to stick up for her and say you should spend all this energy on the oppressors, the politicians, and people dragged him for filth. They dragged him through the mud. They were like, what, the same politicians that you buy your 1.5 million table and support you, and you didn't call them out. So he had to come back and beg for people to stop dragging him because he had had enough. But anyway, that being said, that is what is going on with COVID-19. In other news, not long ago actually, something came out that roadside sellers, so people who were on the roadside who sells fruit, vegetables, and all that kind of stuff, were actually washing the fruits in the gutter before they sold them. If you don't know what a gutter is, I want to say it's kind of like a drainage system, which is usually by the side of the road. So it's usually like a cutout block of road, and there's like water. I believe what it's for is that when the rain comes, it will just kind of wash into the gutter and not flood the streets. And obviously things get washed into it, people drop stuff into there, so it's a very dirty place, especially some with oil and tar and stuff in it anyway. So there's a video came out of, you know, roadside sellers washing their fruits in this black gutter water, and I have to tell you guys, it was very, very traumatic for me, because the particular roadside seller that was washing their fruit in this gutter in the video was actually one that I had patronized once or twice whilst I was in Nigeria. Okay, it was in Agungi in Lagos, and when I saw this, I was livid. I said, really? It had to be the one that I had gone to, but yes, it turns out they were washing their fruits in the gutter. So just a warning for you guys, if you are buying things from roadside sellers and hawkers, just to be very, very vigilant. Obviously you won't be able to see them at all times, and they won't do it when you're there, so you won't know. But just when you get home, please wash your fruits and vegetables very, very, very well. If you can wash it with lemon juice or salt water, whatever you can do, just because you don't know what they've done with the fruits prior to you buying them. That was a scary video, guys. Okay, we even saw a video a while back of a woman going into, I think a trailer, or like a tanker, an oil tanker had leaked, and so there was a lot of water, a lot of oil in the gutter, and there was a woman who sells oil going in with empty bottles and scooping the oil into the bottles to resell. And you know, I wish we could all say don't buy unsealed oil, or don't buy oil that's not in a fresh pack, but a lot of people cannot afford to not buy that. So I think just be very careful of who you patronize, and I don't really know what to say other than just be very careful, because at the end of the day, it might cost you a little bit more to buy something that you can be sure is safe, but you really don't want to be drinking gutter oil. It's not what you want. So yes, that's what we're going to be ending today's show. Let me know if you enjoyed this episode, if you'd like me to do it more regularly to keep you informed on what's going on in Nigeria and the news as it is being delivered. On the other hand, let me know down below what your thoughts are on everything I've mentioned. Do you have more information, or what do you think about what I've said? And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.